Okay, so we're taking a quick look here at what's going on with the logo up here, and so the basics of it are simple, but there we go. But we want to take a closer look at it. So the basics are that right now the menu is set up to be the one that just shows up there automatically when you assign it. So I don't ever do that. So we take that off. Don't assign a primary or secondary navigation menu area. And I think it's atypical to do it that way, but I find it's much easier to control. And you don't end up with situations like you're in right now, and you're struggling with the same thing, because you're going to need to have some things going on up here. Now, ultimately, you could do it primary navigation, and you could set a logo by going into Customize. But then to do that, you've got to change the size of what the logo is going to be anyway, on the basis of the PHP file, and it's just as complicated, and then you don't have as much flexibility. So then instead what we do is we just take custom menu here, and then we select the one that we want, and now we got it, and now we refresh it, and then it's there. Maybe it's hiding. Oh, there it is over there. Something else has been set up funny. Anyway, there it is over there. And so we have the 1, we got the 2, we want them to float, and sorry, I was getting lost on what was there in that extra part there. What do we have going on? Oh, I see. Okay. There we go. And so then on this, you didn't really need to set a width, but you can just say 100%. We'll go with 100%. There are times you have to do negative margin left and right. Not something you want to typically do. I imagine it's something to do with trying to mess around with getting the logo to go right, but I don't want to do that. So we're getting rid of that, and then let's see. Let's go ahead and make these the right color so we can see what we're dealing with. Because right now I don't really know where it is. Neither do you. You might. I'm just going to make them like that, just so we have something going on. Okay, so then now we just need to get these to be the right sizes. And so we don't really want that one to go all the way across. And so we're going to make sure that we are saying float left. And then site header, widget, and child 1. You could say first child, but I don't like to do that because later on, what if you need to change it over to being the second child? Then you have a harder time going through and making sure that it's all changed correctly. It's really super simple then to do a search and replace on it. I suppose it's not so hard otherwise, but it's easier to keep track of things that way. I think it makes more sense, and it does the exact same thing. Maybe there's some reason not to do it, but I don't know it. I already did float left. So we're going to say that we want that to be... No, you know what, let's not do it that way. Let's not even do a width on that one right now. We'll need to do something with it, and there's actually several other things I want to do too. But we'll leave that for right now. Let's go to the second one instead. And what we're going to be doing with it is making sure that it's centering in there. I think it's going to be the easiest way to be able to do this in a way that's reasonable. And it gives us the most flexibility later on, since we don't really know fully. There could be some changes to this at some point during the review process, since we don't know fully what's going to be wanted. So then we're going to be doing text align center, because eventually we'll need that. And then we're going to need that to be auto. And site header. Oh, and that's supposed to be 2, sorry. And 2. And then dot menu item. Then we want it to be inline block. And we're going to say that we want to actually not make this float after all. And we're going to make this one not float. Somewhere along here we got it wrong. There we go. Now all those will be in there perfectly centered. And then on a wrap, then I don't believe in 1140 reps. I believe in 1500. Sorry, there's this gnat that keeps flying around my face. You might have heard me clap, but it wasn't because you were doing a good job or because I was doing a good job, but the gnat was doing a bad job. Let's see, that doesn't look right. Get rid of that. Oh, and I still got the width on there. Oh, that's in some other place, huh? I get it. That's where my problem was coming in. There we go. Now those are centered. I said I don't believe in that amount of wrap, but I might. I think I do. I think my belief system is changing. Actually, I still want 1500 down there, but for up here, we'll set a max width at 1140. We need to have some sort of divide going on between these things. It's just so much white. Part of it's like that particular slide, but even otherwise, and I'm just gonna do too much. I'm not gonna get everything done because obviously like those aren't lined up and such. This really gets close enough for what your purposes are right now. But let's just make it so that doesn't go down as much. And if we have more space, I don't believe in padding, ever. There we go. I don't believe in that. Get rid of that margin bottom. And they always want us to start off with that. What else do we have in here? Oh, that's just actually the size of it. It's just got a lot of space in the bottom and top. Okay, that's fine. And make this down here. Oh, man, that gnat is back. There we go. And for right now, we're just going to say 0 on that. Is that a shadow? I don't like shadows. I don't think it's something that's put in there through CSS, probably. It's probably done there through the slideshow itself, I guess. Yeah, probably so. We'll see. Who knows? Yeah, it goes all the way across. It must be. But I don't like shadows. I'll make it go away someday. Yeah, I think though that what you can do is keep this nice and simple up here. I don't know that the bar is going to work too well anyway. The green bar that was there before. But then on this stuff here, then we can just bump it down and and so then we can just say margin top. Probably we can go just a little bit smaller on that logo, and so we'll deal with that in a moment. Doesn't need to go much smaller. Let's knock everything down, huh? There we go. Okay. Right about there. I don't know if these are the right colors necessarily. I was just putting it on there earlier for that purpose. What if we pull a Timothy Paul Jones, and then we get some stuff going on around this, and then we say that we have a border 1 pixel solid 224980. I think that's going to work well for us. The padding's wrong, but the idea is right. And No, not quite, huh? It's not right. Oh, that's feeling better, isn't it? Needs that boldness because there's so much white up there. You gotta go for that. Yeah, I think I like that. You think you like that? You probably do. And that's probably too stark to do that. I don't know, I do like it that way, actually. The more natural way to do it is to have it turn green to match the other. But, you know, we've done that plenty of times. Can't do the same thing all the time. Oh, I think I do. I think I like it better the white. You like it better the white? You probably do. And I'd be able to get away with having green in there. No, it's too much. It's too hard to see it. And so we got to go with our coral. Coral is what we need. We don't really need coral. Color 224980 niner. I'm going to keep this border in there though, and have that be a 2. And it's going to look a little bit better on this transition. Yeah. I think that works. Something like that. I'm going to save this, and I'm going to save it as a text file for you. And then I'm worried that, you know, just in case you are working on this right now, but then I'm somehow messing you up. And so I'm just going to save it. And this is just style.css. I'm going to go with .css. And this is you over here. Hey, Trash Can Peach. I made a little video for you. And here's a text file with the CSS as well. I didn't save it in case you were working on site at the same time. Video will be up here shortly. The end. So that's the story. We're getting along closer. One more thing, actually. Probably we need some sort of little border. It's just too much. So on home, no. Let's do it on header. And we'll say border bottom, 2 pixels solid, 204980. I think that's our number. I think I got it memorized. It's not my favorite thing to have a border there, but I think that's what we need. And sometimes you just got to do what's right. Yep, we're gonna go with that. So copy, save, text, style, paste, save. It's done. All right, talk to you later. You have a good night or morning, whatever time.